Angela Forbes is a health education extension agent based in York County. Angela, thanks for coming down today. You do things in several counties. What sort of programs are you particularly interested in putting on?
Well, I work with the diabetes prevention program, and I also work, which is a program to help people. There are certain people and certain criteria, but it helps people prevent developing diabetes.
Okay.
People who are predisposed to it, I guess you could say. But I also teach the hypertension control program, which is for folks who have already been diagnosed with hypertension. So that's 2 courses that I teach. But additionally, I get asked to do everything under the sun, nutrition, from label reading to how do you prepare healthy food, to budgeting, shopping for food, that, just anything to do with food and nutrition. So,
everything has to do with food.
Yeah. So it depends on the group.
All right. Well, today you've told me that you say eating fruits and vegetables is important.
Yes.
And so we thought we would talk about the fact that in South Carolina people are growing all these wonderful fruits and vegetables. Maybe we can give people some ideas on how to use them a little differently.
Yeah. And fruits and vegetables, we're always trying to encourage people, and that's been my mantra, because so many people are like, we can't eat anything. Everything we eat healthy tastes bad, which is so wrong. There's so many good things out there. And fruits and vegetables play a major role in some cancers, prevention of some cancers, hypertension, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease, and obesity plays a big role in the development of these diseases. And what you're eating, if you're not eating enough fruits and vegetables, you're probably eating a lot of other stuff.
Okay, well, let's talk about some way we can eat more of them in kind of unusual ways. I have a daughter who's become a vegetarian, and in South Carolina, when squash is coming in, you have a lot of squash. And so I found this recipe, and it's really, really simple, and it starts out.
And it's not deep fat fried, right?
No, it's not. Although, boy, I have to admit. Put a little olive oil in a pan, and then I cut this up relatively small, and I like using the 2 colors because I think that makes it pretty. And then you just dump that in, and then I've also got some garlic, and you cook it on low, and you just do something else in the kitchen, and you just stir it. Don't put any water in it. Squash has a lot of water in it.
Yeah, well, that's true.
And then at the very end, what you want to do is you get some fresh basil, and the easiest way to cut basil up is to just cut it with the scissors, and it's going to cook down, so you use kind of big pieces, and then you put some Parmesan cheese in, and stir it up. And so I've got this ready. I've already cooked the noodles, and the recipe said use a large noodle that it will stick to better rather than regular spaghetti noodles.
I was thinking spaghetti noodles.
Yeah, and so you just toss that up, and then when you serve it, put a little more, keep those trusty scissors handy, a little more basil on the top.
Yum.
And a fair amount
that looks
of
good.
Parmesan
Ooh, it smells
cheese.
awesome.
And then if you can't find basil, and put the Parmesan cheese on top. And if you don't have basil, you can get balsamic pesto.
Yeah.
Basil pesto, and it's already got the Parmesan cheese in it, and that gives you the exact same flavors. Yeah, so very easy.
Oh yeah, gosh, that smells good.
Okay. And so this is something that you'd serve hot.
Yeah. Okay. And that could be, as your daughter is vegetarian, that could be the meal, but that could also just be a side dish for those folks that want to have a piece of chicken or something.
And then since we have all these wonderful watermelons and things coming in, I think you've got a fun salad for us.
Well, I do, and I actually got my watermelon from a local farm up where I'm from. But this watermelon, I just wanted to show you, is a seedless watermelon, and it's orange. And when I cut it open, I was like, oh, I was expecting it to be pink.
Boy, talk about colorful.
Yeah, so it calls for a small.
That's really fun.
Small watermelon. Yeah, and it's really good. It calls for a small watermelon, and it also calls for a pint of cherry or grape tomatoes, whatever flavor you want to use. And then it called for, you can slice it or dice it, but it called for about a medium-sized purple onion. The purple onion to me is a little stronger, and it's pretty. And this is real onion. If you don't like all that onion.
That sweet and that onion flavor is just going to be great mixed together.
You could have cut that back if you wanted to.
However you want it,
So I thought I'd have a little fun with this, and I'll tell you in just a second. But it called for a half a cucumber.
Okay.
So I bought a small cucumber, so it would be a little more, hopefully it'll be a little more tender, because personally I don't like really big chunks, but that's me. And then you want to mix this up, and I'm going to tell you what else I did. Because with salads, you can add whatever you want. You could add peppers, you know, and personally I didn't want the bell pepper flavor, the green bell pepper.
Yeah.
So I bought the Jaja pepper at the farm. And I never tried a Jaja pepper. This is a sweet pepper.
And look how pretty that color
It is. It's
Yeah.
Clemson orange, you know. And so
It's Jaja Gabor because it's so lovely.
Right, exactly. And you just toss it together. And then I also thought I'd have a little fun, and I bought some blueberries.
And as you say,
Oh, isn't that pretty?
when you're doing these things, don't feel like you have to just use the ingredients that somebody else used. Feel free to experiment. Because don't you think that having a variety of fruits and vegetables instead of every night having a sweet potato and some broccoli, you would encourage us to run the gamut and have lots of different colors and textures and things in making our selections, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and I like that you said textures, because it also calls for the different fruits and vegetables have different vitamins, different minerals, different phytochemicals or antioxidants, which are found to help in cancer prevention, helps in this preventing the cell growth.
Yes.
And every vegetable, every fruit is unique. But the texture is that's a really good point, because I think it's good to get a variety of textures. I think that makes it more interesting and more likely to eat it, you know, for a lot of folks.
Good for your internal digestion as well. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Now you've got a wonderful looking salad dressing.
Smell that. Oh.
Ooh, mama.
This is so good. It is just a little honey. It's a little bit of, it calls for red wine vinegar, and hold that thought. It called for olive oil, and I cut back the olive oil just a tad. It was a 1/4 cup, and I thought it was a little bit oily. But that was just my opinion, but I used the white wine vinegar with the grape must in it. Oh, it is so good. That grape must adds a sweet flavor, and the lime it did not call for, but
you can't go wrong.
Personally, I can't stand it. Lime in it just.
You can't go wrong in the summer.
And then in the dressing also has mint leaves.
Oh,
just like you said.
Okay.
I didn't cut mine. I just tore them up, but it was in the dressing, so we'll just
because you want to taste
throw a little bit more in there.
Bite of one.
Yep. And honestly, I think that the recipe says to mix baby spinach with it, but I think it would be better to put it in the refrigerator and let it marinate, and then put it on top of baby spinach or whatever kind of lettuce you want to use. Some of the colored lettuce.
Don't feel wedded to the recipe.
Exactly.
Vary it according to what's in season, what you're growing in your garden, and what your family, what their personal preferences are.
That's right.
But this is a good way to introduce things to people too. If you don't like cucumber, you can put that in there, and the person who doesn't like it can pick it out. But sometimes they're going to try it because it's in there, and all the other flavors are so good. I think it's a good way to introduce people to new things when you can mix them. How many fruits and vegetables should we aim for a day?
Well, and you know, it depends on the person's age, their activity level, and their sex, men or women, because men are typically can eat more calories. But what I love to use, what we used to say was the 5-a-day for Better Health program.
Okay.
It's not called that now, but it's just an easy, easy way to help people. I think, as a registered dietitian, I've worked in the community a long time, and I'm trying to get people to make fruit and vegetable consumption more important, because it is so important for health. If you could just remember 5, 2 fruits, 2 vegetables, a medium-sized piece of fruit, or a 1/2 cup cut up fruit or vegetable, cooked or raw, and then
not huge servings.
No, and leafy would be a cup. If it's spinach or if it's lettuce or whatever, it would be a cup.
All right.
And it's so easy to remember that. If we could get everybody doing that, I think you would see a lot of difference in people's health. And it was a simple way to remember it.
All right, well, I'm going to hold my hand up and say stop to some of the things that I shouldn't eat, and say go for the things that are good for us. Thanks for coming and sharing these tips with us.
Thank you. I appreciate coming, and I want to have some now.